Hi guys, Ian and Matt from Football Boots, and today we're talking about crazy customs. You might have seen Coutinho doing something a little bit crazy with his boots. We'll get to that later in the video, but we're going to look at the top 10 crazy things people have done with boots. We're going to start off with this guy who is
David Luiz in his Magista Obra. So this was the first generation of the Obra boot, and I love what he's done. He obviously wore those boots, he was getting paid to wear them, and he didn't actually like that upper on it. It might have just felt a little bit too stiff for him. Knowing about the Obra, they were just a little bit shell-like, so what he did was actually peel that upper away. Now what do you think about this?
I think it's really impressive that he managed to get that upper off it, because you've seen that we've done some kind of boot customs, and I've struggled to get the Nike skin kind of off the top. It is interesting, when we cut open the Obra 2s, we found that there was a lot of padding inside the boot, so I kind of felt like he would have been better off taking the inside out rather than the outside. But it's something he did. It's a bit interesting. I'm not sure what message he sent to Nike with that.
Well, one of my teammates actually did this exact same thing. Like his upper actually started to peel away a little bit. So what he did was he actually saw this picture and was like, well, if mine started to come away, why not actually take it completely away? And trust me, that is so soft underneath. It is just a Flyknit material, so it does just feel like a sock. And obviously he might have wanted it for a bit of touch and feel.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's his kind of game, so good choice for him. So that's what he did, and he did it in a couple of games, I think. Another player who did a crazy custom is...
So this is Cristiano Ronaldo, and this is actually when the Superfly 4 came out, and obviously it was all about that collar. But Ronaldo, the biggest player for the Mercurial range, he actually didn't like the collar, so what they did for him was actually make it a bit shorter. Yeah,
so I think he initially did just cut it himself. I think he did his own cut, and that was the first kind of custom. That's what we're talking about. And then from that, Nike have since then been doing all these low collar versions. You might have seen our video on Neymar. Perhaps Neymar's looking at the latest low collar version of the Superfly. We'll have to wait and see. But Ronaldo was the first one to cut the collar on the Superfly. We've done it too. We think it's actually a pretty good idea if you've got kind of wide feet and you want that boot. Another customization done by a brand, this one, and this player is
Ronaldo Ibrahimovic. Now this was a massive one, and he actually did it a little bit sneaky. So this was in the Euro 2016, training for Sweden, and it was a real, just only a couple of pictures of these online, so there's not many pictures, not a lot of you guys know about this, but he was kind of in between the X16.1, the Pure Chaos and the Vapor. So what he did was, he wanted that Pure Chaos upper because it's better than the X16.1, but he still wanted his lasers exposed, so he actually cut around that Pure Chaos cut upper.
Yeah, so it's exactly what we've got here. We did a video on removing the lace cover on the Pure Chaos. We wanted to have a look and see what it was like, and this is one of the reasons why we did it. Zlatan did it. Zlatan pretty much wears what he wants when it comes to boots. He gave it a go, and we gave it a go too, so that's another custom. Next one is stunning.
So this is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. He is a very flash player, he's super quick, and on his feet he likes it to be so poppy. So he actually got some Swarovski Superfly 4s made for him, and they are ridiculously bold.
Yeah, they're stunning. And it wasn't the first time that he'd done the kind of crystals on a boot. Back when he was at Saint Etienne. And with these green ones, I mean, I think these are even better than the other ones.
Yeah, with that white-green colourway to match the football kit, and as you can see, they are just coated in these Swarovski crystals. So I mean, they're going to be a lot of money. Are they going to last? Probably not. I think if you're striking the ball, making quick direction changes, then those are actually going to fall off.
I know you're going to have crystals popping up as you hit the ball, but
yeah,
I mean,
they're crazy.
They look lovely, don't they?
They're crazy.
That's them on pitch. I mean, I think they look even sharper on pitch. Sometimes you see a boot and it looks better when you're just looking at it, but these look sharp on pitch.
Sharp.
A lot of green there though, Matt, for you.
Well, I don't like green, but I can appreciate them.
Another boot that we can appreciate, Sacco.
Bakary Sacco. So this was when he was at Wolverhampton Wanderers, and you can see that by that big Wolf logo on that side of the boot, and also 100 there. So that's for 100 caps. I think he made about 130 caps for Wolves before moving on to Crystal Palace. But interestingly, Bakary Sacco was actually a teammate of Aubameyang back at Saint Etienne. So you must have seen Aubameyang had his own pair of Superfly boots in that crazy colourway with the Swarovski crystals, and he wanted the same when he went to Wolves.
Right, that's where it came from. Interesting, interesting indeed. All right, next customization, another one with the scissors out.
So this is a little bit interesting again. So this is Jesse Lingard in the X16.1. So we just saw Zlatan with the Pure Chaos, but he actually customized his own ones, and I don't really understand this much. I know football boots at the moment is all about lockdown and responsiveness. But by cutting that collar there, it just means that you lose that. So it's a bit of an interesting one. Maybe you wanted a bit more flexibility in the boot.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. He's wearing the leather version, which is interesting. So perhaps he just prefers that over the leather 16.1 normal, because he's got, well, that is the 16.1 leather, sorry. So maybe that's what he had to do, is he wanted the best leather he could get. So he had to wear those. I mean, it's not, otherwise he might even try to cut more of the collar off. He thought just cutting there kind of relieved the pressure for him. So
yeah, it's definitely an interesting one.
Yeah, he did that in a couple of games. There's a close-up of that. And he wasn't the only player to do that as well. So we've also got
So this is Jay Rodriguez for Southampton. So it must be a thing. If one player does it, you can be like, okay, maybe that's just him. But there was this player, and also I think Ashley Young as well for Man United. He also cut it. So it must have been a thing that was going around. Maybe just that collar is a little bit too tight for some players. If you do have like excessively wide feet, or maybe like a high arch, and you have to cut it. But obviously you can just see that he's actually kept those laces at the top, whereas those other guys wrapped around the bottom and only laced them up to there. So maybe it was too much pressure on the top of the foot.
Could be. And it's interesting, these guys aren't just doing it in training. We're not showing you training pictures here. These are match actions. So these guys have like tried it in training and they decided that they preferred it, and then they've used it in actual games. Talking about in-game, we've got Pogba here, and these are a custom pair of the Obras that he did when he was kind of making a comeback, wasn't he?
Exactly, yeah. So he had a bit of a length of time out due to injury. These came out, and these were so crazy. So Pogba was actually known to have some different kind of Obras out there, some like Nike ID versions, all gold and stuff like that. But these were completely different, white and black colourway, but it almost had like scribbled text on top with his squad number and also some little phrases.
Yeah, just little French kind of phrases here and there. It's kind of interesting release, and he did other ones. He did like a real nice tricolor Obra and stuff like that. Exactly. Yeah. So nice boots from Pogba. Pogba likes his boots. Moving on, somebody else who likes his boot is Totti, and obviously he's kind of in the news at the moment.
Yep, so he's just released his unbelievable gold Totti Tiempos. But one thing which I really like about the new Totti release is that they've actually given it the elasticated tongue, which he is so famous for. I know when these came out they had the Velcro, but that's not actually
not quite the same. So no, we've got a pair of the gold ones coming in with that elasticated tongue, so we're very keen to get a look at those in hand. It's going to be a decent boot, isn't it? Yeah,
it's real nice. And obviously this is the last one then. So this is the most recent one. We just had the Totti with the elasticated tongue. But in terms of boot customisations, what players do, this is the most recent and it's really peculiar.
Yeah, so this is the reason why we put this video together for you. We thought we'd just kind of do like a kind of crazy customs, and this is pretty crazy. Coutinho has decided to cut a massive chunk out the back of his Vapors.
I think it can be two reasons. Firstly, it could be a blister, which I think is most likely he had maybe a little of a pain on the back of the foot, or it might have been maybe a bit of Achilles tendonitis and he wanted no pressure on that back of the foot. So that's obviously why I cut it out.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen players do that before.
No.
He's done it. I mean, it worked out all right for him, so...
Yeah, exactly. I mean, those Vapors on the heel counter, it can be a little bit tight. They're a very tight fitting boot anyway. So if you do have that on there and you've got a bit of pain, because it's pressuring so hard, it can cause it to be a bit more discomfort. So he's obviously just cut it out. I don't think he did it. Maybe the boot guy at Liverpool, he maybe cut it out
the knife out and given it a cut. I mean, it's surprisingly though, because normally you could just put like a plaster or maybe a little bit of K-tape or something on it, which would like protect it from the friction rather than cutting a massive hole in the boots. But perhaps he probably wore those in training as well, and he'd already tested it, so he was happy with it going into the game. And it's, unless you get like a tackle like straight on it, which is highly unlikely, it's not really going to make any difference.
I think obviously if you're a pro, you can do this, but kids at home, if you've got your parents to pay for your own boot, I probably wouldn't suggest doing this, because once it's done, there's no coming back.
Well, that's it. Like, he's going to have to get a new pair of boots once his blister's gone. Yeah, you don't want to do that to your boots. Right guys, thanks for watching. If you've seen any other crazy customs that players have done, then make sure you drop a comment below and let us know. Otherwise, go subscribe to us right now. We'll see you in another video very soon. Go enjoy football.